This week on The Splash, school is back in session, public parking in Keego Harbor, and the continuation of municipal meetings. The Splash is a production of Civic Center TV. We're a news magazine that covers everything from local news to feature stories, all so that we can bring you the latest from the greater West Bloomfield area. And now, let's dive into The Splash.
Welcome to The Splash. I'm Maddie Mustian. With the school year starting, West Bloomfield Middle School has all of their students in person together again. I asked the teachers and faculty what changes will be made this year to make returning to a normal school year easier for the students. This year, the middle schoolers of West Bloomfield are eager to return to their classrooms for a normal year of school. Although the students and staff will be required to wear their masks and adhere to the health recommendations of Oakland County, being together under one roof is what matters. I asked the faculty what they are doing to help ease their students back into the school year.
Well, we already had in-person learning. We've been face-to-face since August of 2020. So most of our kids are used to coming to school. For those students who are in other schools or online, we do have supports like Canvas and things like that that integrates online as well as in-person learning. And every student has their own device, so we are a one-to-one school district, so we can still maintain the best of virtual with the best of in-person.
Well, this year, so far, I have actually participated with my students in a mystery student. So I have them fill out a questionnaire and they all stand up, and it gives me a chance to not only get to know them, but for each other to get to know each other and their peers in the room. So they have a more solid relationship with the people that they're working with.
To help ease them back in, I think we're just playing a lot of get-to-know-you games, making them feel comfortable and safe in our environment before we get started on actual work.
The students aren't the only ones excited to return to a normal school year. The teachers told me what they are looking forward to most for the 2021-2022 school year.
Seeing all of my students, being able to collaborate together with my colleagues, and enjoy just being back to school in a normal setting.
I am excited to be back with kids, and I love having both buildings together. Almost everybody that was Lakers Online as far as staff are back in the building, kids are back in the building, and I couldn't be more proud of the students. They have been amazing to each other, helping each other with their locker comms. Some of the kids haven't been in school since a year ago, March, and they have come in and handled themselves and helped each other, and I just feel like a proud mama. I love West Bloomfield Middle School so much, and the staff is amazing.
I am most excited that we are going to be able to get back to group work with our compacted textbook. The philosophy is that students work in groups, communicate, and talk about math. So I'm very excited that we will now finally have the option, instead of being spread apart, that they will have the option to communicate and talk about math, and that all helps deepen their knowledge.
Good luck to all the students and teachers as they gear up for a normal school year. Reporting for The Splash, I'm Maddie Mustian. You can find more information at our website at civiccentertv.com/WBMS-returns. Keego Harbor has virtually no public parking, and it has become a problem for those visiting the city. Splash reporter Jake Kustosh asked Police Chief John Fitzgerald to explain these issues and what people need to know when visiting Keego Harbor.
If you're someone like me who visits Keego Harbor every single weekend, then you know that parking at Keego can be a challenge. Police Chief John Fitzgerald tells us more.
The main issues are actually in Keego Harbor, there is no parking on any streets at any time. There's signs at the entrance to the city and on many of the streets that indicate this, and that's because our streets are so narrow, we have to keep them free for emergency vehicle traffic and even for our residents to move in and out. We're pretty lenient if it comes to, you live in Keego and you're having a special event, call the police department a few days ahead of time. We'll make a note, we'll get your phone number, and we'll give some permission for somebody once or twice a year to have an event at their house that they can utilize some on-street parking. We'll have a phone number so we have an immediate contact if we have an issue that we have to move a car for. But if they don't call us ahead of time, we don't know about it, we haven't talked to them, they end up getting issued the tickets for parking on the street. And once again, it's all about access for emergency vehicles and for the sanitation trucks, the GFL trucks coming through. You know, some people utilize the parking lot at Roosevelt School, but most of the private businesses are posted as tow-away zones because the businesses need those parking spots for themselves. So it's happened a few times this summer. People have gone out to the lake, come back, and their cars weren't there. And it's not because the police are out looking for them. It's because the business needs those spots to keep running their business. And, you know, all these restaurants and everybody who had such a hard time through COVID are trying to get back on their feet. And if you block a customer from coming in because you want to go out to the lake, that's money they're not making and making it harder for them to stay open. So that's where our parking issues come from.
But is there anything that can be done to help with parking in Keego Harbor?
The only thing that, I mean, some of these things that could change it, you really can't do. You'd have to widen the roads. Right. To make it so you can park on the street, and our lots, and for the most part, are too small to even think about taking public easement area away from them, because the lots in Keego this was cottage country. These were not made as big suburban rural lots. They're all tight together, and the street's too small to add anything to it. I'm not sure that there is anything else really to do unless we were to find some vacant property for the city to buy up and make parking lots out of. But would it be in a convenient spot? Is it something that's fiscally feasible? That's what our city council and planning boards are looking into, and that's what they discuss and they find out. And my end of it is the enforcement and education end of it, because I'd rather educate people that, you know, they can't park at certain places rather than give them a ticket as the enforcement part.
Reporting for The Splash, I'm Jake Kustash.
To know more, you can visit civiccentertv.com/Keego Harbor Parking. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll find out more information about the local municipal meetings.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Can I ask you a question? Why'd you get vaccinated?
I'd like to go to these school dances and spring break to have fun.
I want to be in person for college next semester.
I want to get out of this pandemic.
I wanted to protect the people around me.
Why did you get vaccinated?
Because I'm really looking forward to hanging out with my friends.
I just want to go to a show, dance around, not have to worry about anything, feel like I'm free again.
So we can not miss out on the best years of our life.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm Maddie Mustian. In the 4 communities, municipal meetings continue on despite COVID-19. However, not all remain over Zoom. Reporter Tyler Kieft has a story.
Nearly a year and a half into the pandemic, municipal business continues on as normal, or as normal as can be. That includes municipal meetings. How those meetings are being held, however, depends on your community. Each of the 4 greater West Bloomfield communities and the West Bloomfield School District are moving their regular government business forward at varying paces. While some, such as the West Bloomfield School District Board of Education, have moved forward with in-person meetings, same with Sylvan Lake, others, such as West Bloomfield Township and Keego Harbor, are moving forward with caution and preparing for what meetings will look like in the waning days of the pandemic and post-crisis. Keego Harbor, after returning to in-person meetings, recently elected in an emergency city council meeting to return to virtual meetings through the end of 2021, focusing on improving their council chambers for future meetings and taking additional caution due to the spread of Delta variant.
On August 12th, City Council held a special meeting where we passed Resolution 21-24, reinstating a local state of emergency due to COVID-19, citing the continued rise of the Delta variant for COVID-19, and the fact that City of Keego Harbor Municipal Building and the council chambers are too small to safely accommodate interested citizens. In accordance with Public Act 254 of 2020 and the City of Keego Harbor Resolution 21-24, we're holding this meeting and all boards and commission meetings virtually with remote attendance.
In West Bloomfield, it's a similar tale. As meetings were scheduled to resume mid-September, the Delta variant's rampant spread in Oakland County raised concerns with board members, leading to a vote in a recent budget meeting to determine the best course of action to proceed forward, with some elected officials ready for a return to some normalcy and others urging additional precautions.
With all the people that are getting the COVID, I think, we're building up a resistance and we're getting to that level of herd immunity. So I'm for getting back together. 90% I think of the workforce is back to work. So I'd love to get us back together. I hate this Zoom, to be honest with you, but I'm just one.
I'm leery about waiting till not waiting. I think September 13th may be a little early. And I do know that somebody contacted me and said residents they're upset that we're not meeting in person and speaking for others. So whatever, one is one. And I explained that, we're doing it for the safety of our board members and our residents, and they are much safer. They can log in from home on Zoom and they're going to be safe.
As for the City of Sylvan Lake and the West Bloomfield School Board, their meetings will continue on in person unless otherwise noticed. Find those meetings and all virtual meetings in the four communities on our website at civiccentertv.com. At the West Bloomfield Civic Center, I'm Tyler Kieft, reporting for The Splash.
To watch meetings from the West Bloomfield School District, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and West Bloomfield Township, visit civiccentertv.com and click on demand. This week on Testing the Waters, we hit the road to ask Greater West Bloomfield about their favorite Michigan travel locations.
There's nothing like summer in Michigan, and we have tons of beautiful destinations for 90-degree days like today. What's your favorite Michigan summer tourist destination?
I think my favorite Michigan summer travel destination would be Traverse City.
St. Joseph, Michigan, out on the Lake Michigan.
Lake Superior.
I love anywhere up north. Every summer, my family and I go to South Haven, just a little taste of Lake Michigan.
Mackinac Island, because I love wine, and it's like our own little mini wine country here in Michigan.
We walk and we hike and we go swimming in the lake.
I like to swim. It's cold, but it's really beautiful.
We're going to Crystal Mountain this summer. Dip our toes in the sand and get some sunshine, walk around town.
It's really fun to ride your bikes and to enjoy the weather and to get ice cream and just hang out there.
Looks like I have a lot of places to visit this summer. Reporting for The Splash, I'm Erica Jones.
For more segments of Testing the Waters, visit civiccentertv.com/testingthewaters. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, I'll talk with Lauren Azuri, Park Naturalist Supervisor for West Bloomfield Parks.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Can I ask you a question?
Why did you get your kids vaccinated?
It was hard for them to social distance, to be isolated from their friends.
I want them to get back to school and sports games. So as a pediatrician, I recommend the vaccine to everyone I know.
The boys lost a former teammate and classmate who was only 20 years old. It's been a devastating year.
We want to get back to normalcy. Our daughter is really looking forward to being with her friends, being a kid.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm Maddie Mustian. This week, I'm joined by Lauren Azuri. Lauren is a Park Naturalist Supervisor for West Bloomfield Parks. Hi, Lauren. How you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Can you tell us a little bit about your day-to-day as the Naturalist Supervisor at the parks?
Well, as you can imagine, it's probably not the same every day. It's very different depending on the day. We field different calls from concerned citizens, especially in the spring with abandoned wildlife, wildlife on their property, things they've seen on the trail. So I definitely communicate with the public quite often. That's the main part of my job. And then we also have, as you can see here in the nature room, lots of critters here that are our animal ambassadors, and they help us teach the public at our education programs, our nature interpretive programs. So we do care for these animals. Now, Annabelle is our main naturalist that cares for them, but we all take our turns and help out. And I actually did bring one with me today. Do you want to meet her?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So this is our box turtle. Hello. She's one of our animal ambassadors here, and she comes with us to multiple school programs, virtually or in person, depending on what's happening in the world and what we're able to do. She prefers in person, though. It's good enrichment for her. She gets to exercise a little more, get out a little bit more that way, and she's a great teacher. So she is one of the critters that lives in our nature room in one of her habitats back there. And as we have them for teaching, we also have to care for them. So some of our days include feeding her. So she eats things like worms and strawberries and a varied diet to keep her interested and get all the good nutrients. And we also do a different enrichment. So different opportunities for her to stretch her legs, get real sunshine outside in our outdoor natural play area, things like that. So I do work a lot with the public education. I work a lot with these creatures here, and as well as head out on the trail. Not as often as I would like now. Right now I'm in the middle of planning some of our big events. So some of that behind the scenes stuff has to happen before the big events happen. So we're in the thick of planning our camp out event right now, which is in a few weeks.
Awesome. And then what are some of the other events that you're excited about for this fall?
Yeah, I can't believe fall is here already. It feels kind of crazy, actually, but the weather's changing, the days are getting shorter, so fall is definitely here or coming, and we're gearing up for it. We have Michigan Trails Week is in the end of September. So as a park system with lots of great, amazing trails, we do events to celebrate that. So we have a Michigan Trails Week game hike. So a little different than your traditional hike where you just walk and look at things and enjoy nature. We have different things for the family and with younger kiddos to enjoy on that hike. And then we have a series of programs throughout the fall that meet monthly. So we have our Mommy and Me hikes, we have our Nature for homeschoolers, and our Nature Littles, which are all a monthly. So you get to learn a new thing every time you come back, which is great because we get to see the same families and build relationships with them and see how much they love nature too. And then, as we're talking about our turtle that we have here and all of our animal ambassadors that help us teach about importance of nature in our community, we have a live animal program that we are doing. So you would get a chance to come and visit and meet each one of them up close and personal. We also have open hours too. So if a scheduled program isn't your thing or it doesn't work with your schedule, the nature room and the outdoor natural play area are open to the public certain days of the week. You can find the schedule online at wbparks.org, but that's a great opportunity. We're allowing 1 or 2 families at a time into the nature room to explore, and then we have our outdoor natural play area for them to explore and learn out there as well. Okay. And then our critters come out during that time.
Awesome. And the West Bloomfield Parks are open year-round, so can you tell the West Bloomfield residents where to find you? Obviously online they can kind of find all the information, but where are you guys mainly located?
Yeah, so our main office is at the Recreation Activity Center, and that's where our offices are for registering for programs, asking questions, and that's where our nature room and outdoor natural play area is. We also have Connect, which is our senior services center, located in the Oakland Mall, so that's another one of our main offices. But of course, we have lots of beautiful parks and trail systems. If you haven't gotten out to the Nature Preserve, which is off of Arrowhead Road, where our parking lot is there. It is beautiful coming up this time. It's beautiful any time of year, really, but fall, of course, is amazing. So you can look for those fall colors, the late blooming goldenrod, and those kind of later wildflowers. And there's a lot to look at the Nature Preserve in the fall. So if you're looking for more of a trail experience, that's a great place to go. If you're looking for more of a park experience with lots of amenities, Marshbank Park is beautiful with Cass Lake there. And then if you want to talk to any of us, we're at the Recreation Activity Center.
Well, definitely a bucket list item to check off this fall and winter. Thank you so much for joining us, Lauren. Once again, we've been joined by Lauren Azuri, the West Bloomfield Park Natural Supervisor. We're going to take one final break, and when we return, we'll spotlight someone right here in our community who has worked tirelessly to keep our Keego Harbor community safe for the past 23 years.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
I'll be seeing you in all of our favorite places with laughter and warm embraces all day through. the park where we play, the stoop across the way, that favorite cookie smell, and Big Bird's tree we love so well. I'll be seeing you. I'll be seeing you.
I love you too.
With free COVID-19 vaccines, sunnier days are ahead. Visit getvaccineanswers.org.
I'll be seeing you.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm Maddie Mustian. Now it's time for our final segment, Person of the Week. This is where we highlight special people in our community who are inspiring and providing towards others. This week's recipient is Keego Harbor Police Officer Jim Cote. After 23 years, Officer Jim Cote is calling it a career patrolling the city of Keego Harbor on the streets and on the water. Having served in both part and full-time roles, Officer Cote was involved in a leadership role that had a positive influence in the heart of the lakes and in the neighboring area. Officer Cote played a critical role in Keego Harbor, starting a motorcycle unit that served at events as close to home as the Woodward Dream Cruise and as far away as Talladega Motor Speedway in Alabama. Officer Cote also played a critical role in the establishment and operations of Keego Harbor's Marine Patrol, keeping Keego's waters in the infamous Cass Lake Sandbar safe for residents and their visitors. Beloved by the community, the city, and his fellow officers, Officer Cote's kind nature and friendly smile will be missed on the streets of Keego as he heads into his next chapter as our Person of the Week. If you know someone who is making a positive difference, let us know. And message us on social media with any and all suggestions because we want to congratulate and acknowledge those making a difference in our community. And that's it for this week's show. You can watch new episodes anytime online in HD on civiccentertv.com, Tuesdays at 5:30 p.m. on Civic Center TV on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99. Follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at Civic Center TV and Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. For all of our friends in Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, and West Bloomfield, I'm Maddie Mustian. Thank you for watching The Splash.